So anyway, the ear's divided into three parts. I know you guys have been looking at the ear. There's one histology slide of the ear, which I really should show you tonight. But the ear has three regions. The only part of it you can see is right here. Right, so there's the external ear, then the middle ear, and the inner ear. The inner ear is where the organs for equilibrium and hearing are located. The middle ear is just kind of like in between where stuff, you know, where vibrations and things are passed through. And the external ear is what you can actually see. Now the auricle, that's just the anatomical name for your ear. Okay. And then there's the external auditory meatus. That is the fancy word for what you're not supposed to stick a pencil in, right? It's basically your ear canal. But that's the proper name for it, external auditory meatus. And it ends at the tympanic membrane, which is the proper name for your eardrum. Right, so it's pretty short, you know, when it comes right down to it, it's not very long. And then there's a membrane, tympanic membrane. On the other side of the tympanic membrane, there are three little bones, the smallest bones in the human body, the malleus, incus, and stapes, and we'll talk about those. And then in the inner ear, this would be like the inner ear of an elephant. Okay, then the inner ear, you have this thing. And this is the snail shell looking thing is called the cochlea. And this whole structure right here, well, these are the semicircular canals, but and the utricle and saccule, but this whole structure kind of like right here is called the vestibular complex. And this is where balance and equilibrium is located, in the semicircular canals and also in the utricle and the saccule. Hearing is in the snail shell. And so this is in the inner ear, only it's extremely small. It's not this big, of course. I'm going to need that, so let me just stick that there. All right, so those are the parts. And here's the picture in your book. Well, this is the picture in the book. This shows you where they're located. And I was looking at this earlier, Dan, and going, oh yeah, we haven't talked about bones yet, so I probably really need to at least get the bone out that this is part of and show you how it's located. So this is called the temporal bone, and which is right here, you know, on the side of your head. The ear, of course, would, you know, all the flesh would be on there. But so here's the external auditory meatus, the tympanic membrane would be right there, and then the middle ear and the inner ear. So this is where sound comes in. Your ear would cover all of this. So next week you'll be looking at a bone like this. This is a temporal bone, which is just, we have all kinds of different bones, and this is just a temporal. Oh God, I've never done that before. I've never dropped a temporal bone. Anyway, this is a temporal bone. Please don't do that. Anyway, so it's kind of on me. Let's see, it would be sort of like this. And this big bump right here is this bump right here behind your ear. It's called the Masswave process. Anyhow, so you can see there's a little hole in there on the outside, and that's where you don't stick a pencil. Right? That's the external acoustic meatus. But all of this stuff, the semicircular canals and the malleus, incus, and stapes, they're located in this structure right here. You're going to learn this is called the petrous portion of the temporal bone. So they're actually inside this bony structure right here. So you can see they're pretty small. Right? That wouldn't fit in here. So this is the temporal bone, and the structures for hearing and balance are in here. Right? And if you want to see what it looks like, actually in relation to the actual skull, I don't know if you go see it or don't drop this one, Dave. Anyway, this thing is it's pretty good. This is the foramen magnum. This is where your spinal cord comes out, right? And the brain slots in these things called fosses in there. But the stuff I've been talking about is kind of right here at the end of my finger. That's the petrous portion of the temporal bone. So there's one on each side because you've got two ears. So that's where all those structures are. They're right in there. And we'll be learning about that, like I said, starting on Tuesday. All right. Well, and here's the picture book. So here's the external acoustic meatus. Here's the tympanic membrane. Here's the eardrum. Here are the three auditory ossicles, the malleus, incus, and stapes. And then in here is the semicircular canals, the utricle, saccule, the vestibular complex in here, and then a little snail shell thing. It's called the cochlea, but I always call it a snail shell, but it's called the cochlea. And in the cochlea are the structures for hearing. So balance and equilibrium are in here.